episode, we talked about the early Middle Ages, about the knights, feudalism stuff. And in this episode, we are going to talk about the Crusades, the holy war between Christians and Muslims. Hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Sean, and let's start by looking at some notes, shall we? And then it's here, then this is here. Oh, it's done! Oh. Okay, now that you saw my notes, let's get into our conflict. What is a conflict? Well, we will get into the definition right after the question from the book. Yeah. The question of today's book is, what are some reasons that wars start? Put them in the comments below. Alright, back to our question. What is a conflict? To keep things short, a conflict is an argument. And why did a conflict between the Christians and Muslims start? Well, it's mainly because of the city called, Jerusalem. The city called Jerusalem. In the Middle Ages, it is known to be the center of the world. They didn't even knew there were North and South America back then. And it is the holy city for 3 states and religions. It is for the Christianity, it's also for Judaism, and, you guessed it, Islam. Well, it's a sacred place for the Christians because it is where Jesus was crucified, killed. It is a holy city for the Islams because, well, they think that all of their prophets lived there before Muhammad was even born. And 3, it is a sacred place for Jews because they believe that there's a magical stone in there. I'm not even kidding. And these conflicts between Christians and Muslims were called Crusades. Well, it's because of the army of the Christians called Crusaders to be the name of the Crusades. Why did the Crusades start? Well, the Crusades start because, well, if you remember our last episode, there was this guy at Pope Urban II at the ending of my explaining part. And if you remember him, you would know this. Pope Urban II made a speech and to, well, almost all religious European Christian people to conquer Jerusalem back from the Muslims. And then there was this Pope who just said he will do the leader stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then they fought. And then the First Crusade began. The Christians went all the way with some kind of boats to Jerusalem. They conquered it. They conquered it from the Muslims, a bit bloody. And then the Crusades, the First Crusade ended. The Jerusalem became the Christians for about 100 years. But after that, the Muslims were shocked. I mean, really shocked by the Christians conquering Jerusalem back. So they decided to retake it. They were very busy on another war, so they had no time for this war yet. And then the Second Crusade began. If you know a guy called Saladin, well, you're in the right video. And if you want to know about him, you're in the right video too. Right, Saladin is a nice and also very brave general. He reconquered Jerusalem in 1187. And the people there on Europe were very jealous of him and wanted Jerusalem for themselves. Well, they're Christians too, so they converted to Christianity. These 3 people are Philip the... Wait, is that right? That's his name? Oh yeah. Philip II of France, Frederick I of the Holy Roman Empire, and Richard I of England. So these 3 guys went on a trip in different routes to Jerusalem. So this is how it went. First, let's talk about the English guy, Richard. Oh yeah. Richard went from England. He kind of crossed this place. He went through sea. He went through here, crossed into between these two islands. Then went here and then crossed between the Sicily Island and the Italy's boot heel, might say that. And then he went over on top of this island, under this island, and then he went to Palestine, the Holy Land. However, he was the only one who made the journey all the way there. Another guy, Frederick, died along the way, so his armies went back home. And this is how he went. So Frederick was from the Holy Roman Empire. He went mostly by land, just went through a straight line across this. He crossed the waterway near Constantinople. And then he almost made it to Palestine, but he died. Okay, and our next list is Philip. He's the Kingdom of France. He started in this city, went here, crossed the kind of borders that Richard made, went under the island, and then made it to Palestine, but he got very sick, so he went back home. So Richard was the only one left on the battlefield, and it was not going as well as planned. I guess it was kind of disastrous. Okay, here's about it. Saladin was the leader of the Muslims again in this army. Richard had a nickname called Richard the Lionheart because he was a very courageous man. But Saladin was also courageous too, and Saladin was able to win the war. That reminds me of salad. And so there were a lot of other crusades, and the crusades even went on after Saladin's death. There were 6 more crusades, so that means there were 9 crusades in total. There should have been the 10th crusade, but it wasn't there. And every battle except the first crusade was won by the Muslims. So I guess it was a bad time for the Christians. After the third crusade, though, Richard and Saladin made a peace treaty. Saladin allowed Christians to visit Jerusalem. But Richard didn't like it because he felt defeated, so he left for Europe after he won the war, and he never returned to Jerusalem again. Well, that's a shame. Alright, this is the end of our crusade video, and also the people there weren't even aware of East people coming to their place. Just stay tuned for our next episode, or just take some time and guess who it is. I'll give you a clue. His last name is Khan. See you next time. Shahan out. Alright, let's get into our writing video. So today's writing topics, as usual, are what did you learn about the Crusades and what are some reasons that war started? Well, let's answer them. If you want to answer them, please put them in the comments below. What did you learn about the Crusades? Well, I learned that the Crusades were a holy war between Christianity and Islam. And that Christians only won the first crusade, while the Muslims won the 2nd to the 9th crusade. So that's kind of surprising for me. I'm a big fan of Christianity people. And also, I don't even think that the crusades needed to start. Well, it did. What are some reasons that war started? Well, I think that war started because it starts mainly by conflicts. Some people have disagreements and they want their agreement to be the kind of leading role. So they start wars, not like with the gun stuff, but not always with guns and weapons. So sometimes it can be with voices or just talking with eye contact. Well, this is the end of my writing video. It's very short, and I'll see you in the extra history. Dun 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 dun. Finished. Alright, today's extra history, we're gonna do something different. We are gonna draw while talking about it. But first we are going to talk about the 5 Crusader armies. Look right here. See it? These are the 5 Crusader armies, and let's talk about them. Alright, the first one is the Orange Army, number 1, Hugh of Vermandois. The second one is the Green Army, which is Godfrey de Bouillon. Number 3, the Blue Army, is Bohemond of Taranto. The Purple Army, number 4, Raymond of Toulouse. And lastly, number 5, the Red Army, Robert of Flanders. Hope you enjoy. And those are the 5 Crusaders. Now, let's get into our map drawing. So I'm going to have to go a bit here for you to see it. Alright, so the Crusaders of the Hugh of Vermandois, the orange one, and Robert of Flanders were gone. Here is why. Hugh of Vermandois just saw that there was no hope. And then Robert Flanders reached Jerusalem, but he said, after he went there, he said, "I'm peace." And then he left the army. Oh, that's crazy. Alright, back to our siege. And this is how Jerusalem got conquered. On the first crusade, I'll draw a castle wall here. Alright, so this is the castle walls, and the inner square is where the people and townspeople live. And this outline part is where the defenders of the castle are. So I'll just draw some little circles representing people. Okay, here's the strategy plan. The remaining people, Bohemond of Taranto and Godfrey de Bouillon, were on this part of the siege. And the old guy, Raymond of Toulouse, were just in this part of the siege. And they both got enough wood to make, well, towers, movable ones. Let me draw some towers right here. So let's talk about Raymond first. Raymond just exactly went through it, and then the people there just attacked, and well, he saw the fire, and well, he lost. But Bohemond and Godfrey's armies, though, at night deassembled the kind of tower into different parts to move all these parts to right here. The people here just found out these, and they just defended this part. And then the next morning, the part that Bohemond and Godfrey was totally unprotected. So Godfrey and Bohemond's army went across the wall into the city, and they set it on fire. Well, Raymond of Toulouse wasn't able to get inside because he was too far away. Look at this place. His even wall tower was destroyed. That was a nice strategy. I think it was very nice. So this is very clever, and if you're at war, try this strategy. Okay, this is the end of my extra history video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. And tomorrow and next time we are going to talk about the Mongols. Genghis Khan. Shanhan, out! This video was made by me. It was sponsored by me. The talking is by me. Of course, the script was made by me. The drawings of these maps that we use throughout this series were made by me. And I hope I'll see you in my next episode of The Mongols. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit the bell button to all so you wouldn't miss any of my videos. And if I do ask a question, please answer them right away in the comments or so. Today's question is, how did Bohemond and Godfrey's army got into Jerusalem's castle walls? And how did Raymond of Toulouse try to get into Jerusalem's castle wall? Look at this map or just screenshot it so you can find out the answer. Or just replay this video. See you next time. Shinhan out. I'm Peace.